mouse had a great feast. Why they had a great feast? Because the tiger was getting married. So they were all dancing, jumping here and there, had a big feast. All the mouse, whilst hearing that the tiger is getting married, they had a great feast. But only those mouse were dancing who were married. So someone asked that why you are dancing? Tiger is getting married. Before marriage, we were also tigers. That is our situation of in day-to-day living. We feel as if the situation outside, the relationship outside can change my inner state. But the fact is, no situation outside, no condition outside, no person outside, no time outside, no location outside can change my real nature. No, but I feel it. But I feel, we all feel. We all feel. So our master teaches that there is an outer situation. What is outer situation? You're an half man, you're a woman, you have a house in Princeton, you have all these, what is all the name in the form, positions, and assets? That is person number one, Anne Hoffman. Or you can say Anne Hoffman number one. Now, how you perceive. Now, Anne Hoffman number two is present in the mind. How I feel, behave, express, think of the world outside, that is caused by the mind. No situation says that, I am bad or good. No person is ready to agree that he is bad or she is bad. No time ever claims that time is bad or good. It is my interpretation. It is the interpretation of my mind. Think. Anne Hoffman, one, outside. Anne Hoffman, two, we give interpretation of the situation, the time, the feeling, the possessions, etc., etc. Anne Hoffman, two, inside says that I am so many years old. But outside never says you. So if we give a wrong interpretation based on our likes and dislikes, then we give the interpretation and we continue suffering. Your belly it doesn't say that you are so many years old or you are sweet 60. It is my mind gives the interpretation. Person number one, person number two, when they come close to each other and mixed with the likes and dislikes reaction, they create a personality, and that personality is full of wrong notion, misunderstanding, likes and dislikes, reaction, anger, and agitation, duality, and a conflict. This lady, she was telling me that she is in extreme grief. But when the mom died and she got her share, she is very happy.
Oh, oh, the mother died. Okay.
And I knew beforehand.
Uh,
He sent many emails, I'm in grief. Where your grief has gone? And you are telling me a story of other guy? Come on. Come on. We know because Eastern wisdom gives you that knowledge by which you understand what is happening in here. So, what Master says that person number one outside, two inside, they got mixed up with likes and dislikes. Say, just take an example. My dad did not give me a single penny and he dies. Mine says better. Outside, I may say I'm in grief, but I'm not in grief. Based on my interpretation, I experience grief, I experience pain, and I experience suffering. So we know it. We don't say anything. We say, okay, calm down. So that interpretation, which is wrong in the beginning, and that causes the suffering, and it is all happening in the mind because of my projection of a particular situation in day to day life, what we need to do. So the master says we need a power of discernment by which you can separate wrong notion from the right. You like mom, but mom hates you. You move with an attachment to the mom, but mom says, I will not give you a single penny. I have not put your name. For how long you continue to be attached? You start reacting. You are becoming angry. Just one example I'm saying you. So what is happening? The perception is the same for every individual. Everyone in the world will say you are Anne Hoffman, but after the perception, how the people projects from their mind with reference to the likes and look at it, your one son Philip has a different projection about you, and Jack has a different projection about you, Wanda has a different projection about, Gabriela has a different projection about you. Perception is only one. Perception is the same. What is the perception you are in? But projection means that is based on my likes and dislikes, my anger, my wrong notions. So Master says, if we want to live in peace and happiness, remove the projection. See the event, situation, people, place, time as it is without projecting anything. We wake up in the morning and we say it's a bad morning. Did sun give you the less sunlight in your home? That's why you say it's a bad morning. It's my interpretation of the mind. It is the projection that causes the anxiety, depression, duality, conflict, pain. So there the master says that because of this wrong perception, wrong projection, we start experiencing grief, suffering, action, anxiety, reaction. And that is what the ignorance is. Ignorance limits me, constricts me, contracts me. Then this mind says, see that I am suffering. All our suffering are caused by the wrong notion, projection, and delusion. So there the master says we need uh, a power of discernment. And the word discernment is not is a rough translation of the word viveka. How we separate black seed from the rice based on the properties. Same way, if we separate real and from unreal, or unreal from the real, right knowledge from the wrong knowledge inside our mind, we should remove the projection completely. The wrong notions are gone, and you instantly calm down. So, projection caused by ignorance results in suffering. Removing the projection by discernment leads to wisdom, results into calmness and peace. Knowledge of the right or real nature means ignorance is gone. And the knowledge is gained by the power of discernment. And the power of discernment awakens in my mind when I start thinking. I simply do not say, oh, it's a bad morning. Where is bad? Can you show me in your house where is the bad morning? In fact, there is nothing. You cannot show me. Because why you cannot show me? Because it lives in your mind. But how come it lives in my mind? Because of projection. But why there is a projection? Because my mind has some past thoughts. They return into my mind, and I wake up in the morning and I say it's a bad morning. I don't realize what is going on in my mind. So when it is a bad morning, you go to the kitchen and you are preparing a tea and the cup falls. You see, that is why it's a bad morning, I told you. Because now the mind is colored completely, it is deeply projected. We lost awareness. So instead of a sugar, you put the salt into coffee. This is what is known as. So you see that again a journey. So I have to use the power of discernment. Power of discernment means I have to think. So it's a bad morning. The moment I start thinking, how come it's a bad morning? Let me see where it is bad, from which angle it is bad. Then what happens? The intellect takes over the mind. The mind is instinctive and impulsive. It follows the behavior and attitude of likes and dislikes. So you give a break when you start thinking. So you're thinking in order to filter out, is there anything like a bad morning? And you discover there is nothing like a bad morning. And the mind now moves with the knowledge and you are free. In that state of freedom of the mind, which is also known as being comfortable and being carefree. You're not at all worried about any thought, feeling, whatever is happening. You separate all the thoughts from your mind through awareness, through knowledge, through understanding. And when you separate inside your head. You separate through the thinking, through reflecting. You can use the word contemplation and reflection. So the more you reflect, intense reflection removes the doubt. What doubt? You start raising the doubt. There is nothing like a bad morning and it is gone. There is nothing like an anxiety. Anxiety is gone. There is nothing like the grief. It's gone. But we need to reflect with intensity in the mind, contemplation, reflection. Another way to say contemplation, when we are in grief and suffering, the mind supports further. We start having the tears, we become impulsive and instinctive and reactive. Don't touch me. I am in grief. But we don't say, we don't want to discover why I am in grief. I can bet you. For example, any parent who declares that my son, I will not give you a single pen, grief will not be there. And parents will say, I have will more than 60% of the wealth for you. The son says, my dad, you are still alive. I'm giving an extreme example, but that is these things are happening. I cannot have a grief even a person is very close to me, close relation, and dies. If I hate that person who dies, if I am attached to the person who dies, and I get some benefit, then obviously, then I have a extreme grief. So my grief is based on my likes and dislikes. Likes and dislikes by default in the mind means I do not think the real, what is real and unreal. To think real and unreal, power of discernment we have to apply. So when you filter out all the thoughts that is causing you the grief because you realize it has come from the likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment, or you can say emotional dependence. When the power of discernment is very intense, you need not to practice anything. You move into the state of meditation. That is what is known as mindfulness, live in moment from moment. No, your mind is clear. Mind is not pushing you. That is the journey of life. Yeah, there is a proverb in India that, I'm just talking about the grief. That if your kids are really intelligent and responsible, you don't have to leave even a single penny for them. They are intelligent. They will do themselves. They will they will make their life successful. But on the other hand, if the kids are duffers, They don't know anything. They are a liability. Even then, you need not to save any money for them. Why? They will waste their money. They are deafers. They don't have wisdom. Last year, you already know my mind is crazy. So I wanted to know how many people won the lottery tickets in US and
Mm.
where they are. The article read that 80% of the people who won lottery tickets more than $10 million dollars, within 5 years they became beggars again.
Mhm.
So there comes the power of discernment.
Yeah.
Do you see that? No, no, I don't have money. That's why I'm suffering. No, you're not suffering because you don't have money, because you are so much attached. You don't have that level of awareness. You are not using the existing resources wisely. Otherwise, at least in US, anyone can earn money. Anywhere. You go to the store, you start driving the cab, and you have multiple opportunities. So, power of discernment is the key. So, let us start our practice with the power of discernment.